Jim, would you have liked to work Kansas City when Gus Karras was still running the territory?
It probably would have been better when Bob Geigel was right. No, I almost feel like the fucking Bulldog Bob Brown and Bob Geigel and those guys are going to come back from the dead and haunt me or something. I always use Kansas City as like the Monogram Studios of wrestling territories. But when I went there in the 80s a couple of times, that's pretty much what it was. And the guys weren't making a lot of money and they didn't draw big crowds. And it was a pretty blasé atmosphere over there at that time. I do know that they did do good business in that territory, especially back in the 50s and 60s. It was a different world back then. And some, you will find that I believe Des Moines back in the 40s or 50s, I just saw looking through some research I was doing and saw a clipping where Des Moines, Iowa did 12,000 people back in the pioneer days like that. So just because they weren't doing well in the 80s doesn't mean it wasn't ever a great place. And they produced a lot of talent. And Harley's from out in that part of the country. And Gus Karras was around for quite a while and had a pretty good name in the business, at least from what I've heard. So I can't say I never would have wanted to ever work that territory at any point in time, but it was not a plum assignment in the early and mid 80s. Let's put it that way.